And I sat on my couch for the first 2 days, and my wife looked at me and says, well, we've got to go to Tennessee, Atlanta, Chicago, back to Atlanta, Augusta, and then home. And I looked at her and said, how long are we going to be gone? And she said, that'll be for the next 3 weeks. And I looked at her like, I'm not going. I went. I've got Lynn Merritt, who the first time I met Lynn, he says, I can't do nothing for you now, but if you keep playing, I got you. That was 24 years ago. You will notice if you look at the Heat game, Lynn will be in the front row of every Miami Heat game. He's over there. He's also another one of my older brothers that will tell me what I'm doing wrong at any given time. Got my agent, Brian Goldberg. Had him since I was 17. Been a part of my family's life since I was 14. That about right? You know, you can't talk to agents before you get signed, so I had to clarify that with the NCAA over here. He's been there when I've called at 3, 4, 5 in the morning asking for advice on certain things. And I can't thank those two guys enough for being in my camp since I was a young kid. Thank you. I'm going to talk to you guys as fans, because sometimes you don't hear about what I have to say or it comes out wrong. What I'm going to tell you is that you guys, you know, you got across the street, they got the 12th man. Well, on this side of the street, we need the 10th man. You guys are important. When you show up and we look at y'all in the stands going, ooh, it's going to be a good day. If you don't show up, we look and say, oh, well. But you guys are important. More than what you think you are. And I know sometimes it gets a little frustrating. We get frustrated because we want to go out there and perform. And we want you guys to, when you drive home, to say, wow, I was there for that. And have a smile on your face. We're not trying to mess up. We're not trying to make you guys upset in any way. We just want you guys to be happy on the 20, 30, 40, 2-hour drive. In some cases, 5-hour drive home. But you guys should be patient with these guys. I know they were going in the right direction because I spent a lot of time in the minor league system to see what we got coming up. But before I go, I waited till last to talk about Jay. I'm not going to tell no stories. Okay, maybe one. Of all people that I would consider my brother from another mother, a guy who listens to country music, wears cowboy boots, big belt buckles. I got 17 speakers in a car, sweatsuits, rap music. Two people that are so far apart on every level became really close. Now, I don't know if that's the pitching changes that we had, and I went over to right field, and he came over. But there is no other person in this world, other than my parents, that if something ever happened to me or my wife, that I would want to raise my kids. I would, in closing, I'm going to just say this. I am truly honored, humbled to be associated with these people here. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Love you too. I wasn't really going to speak this long because I never prepare for anything, as you know, like don't have a speech. I always speak from the heart. And I think that's the most important thing, is that, you know, you may have, sometimes I may have been standoffish. I didn't mean to. I just wanted to play baseball. And that was the only thing that really mattered, was me going out there, playing and trying to win ball games for this team. But I want to thank all y'all. I want to thank the Mariners organization for being a part, let me be a part of something special. Thank you. I just want to say thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Junior. What a night. You were an inspiration to an entire generation throughout the Northwest, the nation, and the world. You changed the game and made us all proud to say we were from Seattle. Thank you for all you've done for the Mariners, this region, and the game of baseball, Junior. We savor the memories of you roaming center field, as well as that sweet, sweet swing. And we will all stand proudly when you enter the halls of Cooperstown, New York, with an S on your cap and Mariners across your chest. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here tonight to honor Ken Griffey Jr. It has been a memorable evening. We'll keep adding to those memories as we have more tributes coming up throughout tonight's game. Enjoy the ball game, everybody. It is Ken Griffey Jr. night here at Safeco Field. Thank you for coming.
Ken Griffey Jr., Mariners icon, is presented by Northern Quest Resort and Casino in Spokane, Washington. Visit northernquest.com for more information. Now there are 7 in the Mariners Hall of Fame. Baseball next. First pitch. Brewers, Mariners on the way.
Ken Griffey Jr., his night, he goes into the Mariners Hall of Fame. What a great sight to see him enter from center field where he reigned for so many years. Good to have you with us here at Safeco Field. Dave Sims and Bill Kruger. And quite emotional ceremony. Our friend, the guy you competed against, the guy I've gotten to know over the last few years, I thought it was terrific.
He held it together pretty well. After Trey had him on his back, I think, for the standing 8 count there, he was in trouble. His son snuck up on him, but the eye-popping numbers, the incredible defense and offense this guy displayed, the smile, the charisma, the Ruthian exploits that he's provided Seattle fans, but he's much bigger than that. Yeah. The depth of the person, the love of his family, the great parents, and the love of the community and the love of the Seattle Mariners, it was obvious tonight.
Now, he's the king of Seattle, no question about that. I mean, the guy, what he's done, I know from coming from the East Coast, not having seen the bulk of his career live, saw a lot on TV, truly one of the greatest players ever to play in the game of baseball. I mean, here's a guy that's got Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, and all these guys on speed dial because he's in that kind of hierarchy.
Without a doubt. A surefire Hall of Famer. We're celebrating his place in Seattle sports. He's bigger than that. You hear players across baseball talking about how they emulated Griffey.
Yeah.
And they're not from Seattle. They're from all over the place, all parts of the world for that matter. This guy had a big impact. And what a great person and a great competitor inside the locker room. And I think we got a little bit of a look inside of the man that we didn't necessarily get when he was playing because he was shy, believe it or not.
Right. And he told me before the ceremony, he said, I'd much rather be out in center field or facing somebody bringing 95 miles an hour instead of speaking to 40,000 people. And CEO Howard Lincoln said 45,000 people. We got a full house tonight. So it was a great night here at Seattle. Ken Griffey Jr. going into the Mariners Hall of Fame. Great to have him back in town. This was draped over out beyond the batter's eye is Marilyn Niehaus, Alvin Davis on your left, Jay Buhner, easily his best friend. Ken Griffey Sr., what a great career he had. And, of course, one of the unbelievable moments. And everybody, including yours truly, got to wear the hat backwards here this evening. Ken getting an award from the Make-A-Wish Foundation. And the fans here coming out to show their love for Ken Griffey Jr. And believe it or not, we do have a baseball game coming up tonight. It's game 2 of a 3-game set as we come to you from the Dave Niehaus Broadcast Center here at Safeco Field. Jay Buhner, his heart touched as he and Junior are the best of friends. We're going to be back. Brewers, Mariners, we got big league baseball coming your way. Straight ahead right after this. Welcome to Ken Griffey Jr. Hall of Fame night presented by Northern Quest Resort and Casino. The magic number tonight is 24. That's the jersey number that Ken Griffey Jr. wore with such distinction. And a big crowd came out to celebrate him tonight going into the Mariners Hall of Fame. Welcome to Mariner Baseball, everybody. Dave Sims, along with Bill Kruger and our Roots Sports crew. A very special night here in Seattle, to say the least. It's the Brewers with Tom Gorzelani going against the Mariners' Hisashi Iwakuma. Let's take a look, Bill, at the batting order for the Milwaukee Brewers.
Let's look at Ron Reinke's lineup for tonight's ball game. Leading off is Aoki playing right field. Segura leading the National League in hits, hits second at shortstop. Lucroy, the catcher, hitting third. Gomez, the fleet center fielder, cleaning up. Gindel in left field, hitting fifth. Davis, your DH for this evening. Francisco will be at first base. Betancourt with the big grand slam on a homecoming last night to Seattle. And Scooter Gennett will be your second baseman hitting ninth. Tonight on the mound, Hisashi Iwakuma. Boy, this guy has had some kind of terrific season. You see the numbers, they're eye-popping. He's in the top 10 in almost every pitching category and has been on a nice run, Dave. 3-1 with 1.51 his last 5 turns.
Number 5 in ERA in the American League, and the first pitch to Aoki is off the plate for ball 1. Umpires tonight, you got Bruce Streckman home plate, Corey Blazer at first, Tim Welke at second, and Dan Bellino at third. Richka Aoki, leadoff man. Ground ball to Nick Franklin, a backhand. Good solid throw. 1 out.
Let's take a look at the defense for tonight's ball game, and it's going to be better, folks. Ackley getting a chance out in left field. Saunders is your center field. Michael Morse in right. Across the infield, third to first. Seager, Miller, Franklin, and Justin Smoke, who's been on a nice roll. The catcher for tonight will be Humberto Quintero, working alongside of Hisashi Iwakuma.
The roof covering is here this evening. Didn't want to take any chances with any weather, putting some raindrops on our ceremony today. There's Gene Segura having an outstanding year. He is 7th in batting average in the American League, 2nd in stolen bases. Moreover, in the National League, moreover leads the National League in hits with 140.
Kind of came out of nowhere. He came over in the Greinke trade, didn't do much when he came, but boy, this year came out like gangbusters.
Takes a strike there. Segura 1 for 5 last night with a stolen base.
Now these Brewers, they're going to press the game. We saw that last night. Even with the lead, they ran. Leading the league in stolen bases. That is the National League.
105. It's the most in the big leagues. Bouncing ball. Nice easy play for Seager. He has had more tough hops come at him in the last 2 weeks. And I was talking to Robbie Thompson about him. He says, sometimes you get the old yips there every now and then. And you have a couple of tough plays, and now you got to fight your way out of it.
Exactly, and Robbie Thompson knows. I mean, he played a long time in the National League, great infielder, and you're going to have little stretches where you start to kind of think a little bit, let the ball play you. Because I'll tell you what, Kyle Seager's improved at third base. He is a solid, above-average third baseman, just having a little stretch of tough times. It's going to straighten out.
Here's the catcher, Jonathan Lucroy. Jonathan was the DH last night, went 0 for 5.
He's the one guy they handled. This guy having a big offensive year. One of the best offensive catchers in the National League. You see the numbers. 60
RBIs leads this Milwaukee ball club. What a tough year for Milwaukee, as we detailed last night. Dead last place, Central Division, 20.5 back of Pittsburgh. And the personnel, Ron Renicky has lost all kinds of big-time personnel. Ricky Weeks, Ryan Brunn suspended, Corey Hart, Aramis Ramirez. It has really been something. And Ron Renicky got tossed out of the game last night, disputing a ball that went down in the corner, wasn't touched by a fan. He wanted the run to score. They pushed the runner back to third. He eventually scored. This was after Ron got run from the game.
I think if he knew it was going to be a laugher, he might have just taken it back to the dugout. Of course not.
10-5.
You fight for your team.
Absolutely. Did a good job.
But speaking of which, when you talk about Aramis Ramirez, and Corey Hart, and Ryan Braun, we're talking 98 homers last year, 3, 4, and 5, and all of a sudden, poof, they're not there.
3-1 pitch. See why Lucroy's having a good year. He can hit. 274 with 16 homers.
Here's a 3-1 count. Kind of middle in mistake there by Ercuma, and Lucroy, he's going to jump all over that, looking middle in, lines the ball to left field for a base hit.
I bring up Carlos Gomez. He's an offensive force, second in triples, fifth in slugging in the National League.
30 stolen bases.
30 stolen bases. That's
another guy. I mean, he can fly.
We'll cover some center field for you. Here's a fly ball. Right center field. Easy play for Michael Morse. Puts it away, and that'll do it. Iwakuma gives up a harmless base hit. We go to the home first, and Kuma gets it done in 11 pitches. Glad to have you with us. Mariners coming back. What a wonderful night to be in Seattle as Mariner fans show their love for number 24, Ken Griffey Jr. as he goes into the Mariners Hall of Fame this evening. Full house here at Safeco Field. Here's a look at the Mariner batting order that will face Tom Gorzolani.
Thank you very much, Dave. Brought to you by Chevron. Leading off tonight, Brad Miller, 3 hits last night. Hitting second will be Nick Franklin coming out of his slump. Seager will hit third at third base. Morales, the wrist machine, the DH hitting fourth. Michael Morrison, right field. Michael Saunders, the Condor in center. Smoke, a home run last night at first base. Dustin Ackley getting a start in left field. And again, Quintero, your catcher tonight, hitting ninth. Take a look at the starter for Milwaukee. Been both in the bullpen and as a starter. Long-time National League hurler, Tom Gorzolani. Good sinking fastball, slider, changeup guy.
First pitch to Brad Miller inside. Mariners had seen Gorzolani going back to 07 when he was with the Pirates. Here at Safeco Field, pitched 7 innings in a 5-3 victory.
Go back to 07, he won 14 games, pitched 200 innings, and he's bounced between relief and start for a number of different clubs. Last year with the Washington Nationals, had a 2.80 ERA out of the bullpen.
1-1 here to Brad Miller. Broke in bat, ground ball, fair ball. Handled by Juan Francisco, 1 out.
Let's take a look at that Brewer defense that has scuffled so far this year. Gindel, your left fielder. Gomez, who can fly in center. Aoki's your right fielder across the diamond. At third base, Betancourt was at first last night. Segura, the shortstop. Jeanette, your second baseman. Juan Francisco getting the start at first. Luke Croy, the catcher, working along with Tom Gorzolani.
Last time out for Big Tom. 13 pitches in relief against the Nationals.
That game, he got drilled by a line drive. So he's working on his 8th day. Seems no problem. Looks free and easy after getting nailed by a line drive. And let me tell you, spend enough time out there, Dave, the ball will find you.
Well, guaranteed. 0-1 here to Nick Franklin. Behind 0-2 now. Nick last night 1 for 5. Got a 7th inning RBI single to right. Errors last night. 3 errors. Nick had 1.
But I'll tell you, for a guy that's converted from shortstop to second base, he's done a nice job. And I think I could pretty much put him up to a challenge on any second baseman across baseball as far as arm strength and actually turning the double play. He's really impressed us.
Swings and misses. He's gone here. 2 outs. And fans, they knew how important tonight was. They got here. The gates, the center field gate was supposed to open at 3:40. They opened at 3:20. And I got here about 1:45, 2 o'clock. There were people behind the home plate entrance, 10 deep already.
Yeah.
So this is a very special night. Plus, Ken Griffey Jr. bobblehead night giveaway for the first, 20,000 fans.
Got to come away with a memory as well.
Absolutely. There's Kyle Seager looking to extend his hitting streak to 5 games. Pops this one up. It is playable. Third baseman Yuniesky Betancourt, who hit a grand slam last night, makes the play, and the Mariners are gone. 1, 2, 3 in the first. 8 pitches for Gorzolani. And Mr. Mohawk here for the big night as well, among others.
open. Deep to left field. Kettle to the track. The wall. Fly away. Welcome to Seattle, Ken Griffey Jr.
Junior with a home run against the White Sox. Dave Niehaus on the call. A lot of number 24s here. My bucket list before I moved to Hawaii. Meet Griffey. That's pretty good.
Very good.
Caleb Jindal to lead it off. He's the left fielder tonight. Chris Davis and Juan Francisco to follow. Popped up. Seager has a play. The Ken Griffey Jr., he talked about Dave Niehaus having called just about all of his home runs. And the Dave statue, one of the greats in all of sports, out in the concourse in right center field. Gets a lot of action out there, and Dave would have loved to have been here tonight.
Oh, without a doubt. A lot of great calls, italicized by Ken Griffey. That was the gift that Dave left with us.
Iwakuma's got 4 outs on 12 pitches. He's sharp early on here. There's Chris Davis. Davis the DH tonight. He was the left fielder last evening, went 0 for 4 with the run scored.
Since his recall, after going back down and up from Nashville, he's hit over 340. So he's been on a nice run.
2-0 from Iwakuma.
And that's what happens when you get gutted by injuries. Young players get chances, and sometimes you might be surprised.
Beauty of a stacked farm system. 2-0. Beat him on that one.
That's the thing about Iwakuma. He's just free and easy. He doesn't look like he's really coming at you. And he's got that little extra at the end of his fastball that beats people.
2-1. And like Kyle Loesch last night's winner, hits a heck of a ball game. That fastball, that in between fastball, has been very effective. Shea high and then come right at borderline at the upper end of the zone. It's been good.
Yeah, just that being able to pitch at the top of the zone without being overtly high where you just take it. And Loesch did a great job of climbing the ladder. And why we watched Iwakuma do this all season long.
2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. He is gone. First strikeout for Iwakuma. 2 outs here in the second.
Well, that was a filthy split right there. The bottom fell out of that one. Wow, look at that grip right there. Wow, nasty.
That late movement was really special.
And he's so good at not making mistakes when he's always down.
Here's Juan Francisco. He'd been with the Braves earlier.
Big
241
prospect, yeah.
with them.
Big prospect in the Reds farm system. A lot of power, but they were pretty stacked at the places that he could play. And now he's moved around the table. But since he's joined the Brewers, he's put 10 home runs on the board and limited AB. So he's got plus power.
On 1 pitch. In there for strike 2.
That's a tough pitch. That's that pitch that Greg Maddux made famous, that swing back two-seamer. You see a lot of people use it now. You throw it right at that hip on the left-hander, and it just swings right back over the inside corner.
0-2. Down and foul. Past Garth Orge from Blue Jays, coaching at first base.
Francisco, primarily an outfielder, but has played third and first base since he's joined the Brewers.
26 years old, out of the Dominican Republic. Oh, 2. There's a pitch we were talking about up high, ball 1.
A little upshoot. Sneaking above the hands.
Iwakuma had an outstanding month of July. 3-1, a 3.89 ERA. A 3-game winning streak in that month.
Well, he's been so terrific since he joined the rotation last July. 18-9 over 40 starts, 2.7. I mean, that's just crazy in the American League. And he had that one little spot, the 5-game stretch where he had a 6 ERA where he actually came back from whatever planet he was from. But since then, he's been back to being lights out again, Dave.
He was getting the ball up in the zone and really was getting pounded. And since then, he's been consistently down low. The 2-2. A full count on deck. Yuniesky Betancourt, what damage he did last night. 1 for 5, a grand slam in the 5-run fifth. Here's a payoff. Kuma Watson. First walk of the ball game. Hey, looking to take a trip this summer? Well, consider a trip around the Safeco Field bases. That's right. All youngsters 14 and under will be invited down on the field following the game against the Brewers tomorrow. 1:10 start time. Pick up your one-way ticket around Safeco Field's bases. Log on to Mariners.com. Well, some boos for Yuniesky Betancourt, the former Mariner. Showed a lot of promise with the Mariners. A couple of good years, but he's done a lot of he's had some double-figure home run years since he's moved on. And last night was huge with a grand slam.
He's gotten a little bigger and stronger and become more of a power guy. Got off of playing every day at shortstop, now a utility player. And he very much enjoyed his grand slam last night, Dave.
Oh, he most certainly did. And I got a feeling, had this been back in your day, he would have found out about it in his next at bat.
But I think he's a joyous player. And sometimes
he's a nice
exuberance gets the best of you, but got that slider on the inner half and did some damage. We'll see how he fares against Irakuma tonight.
Since leaving the Mariners, he hit 16 with the 2010 Kansas City Royals, 13 with Milwaukee, and 11. Here's a ground ball that'll end the inning. Miller shovels to Franklin, and that'll do it. So the Mariners in the second inning. They're going to have Kendrys Morales, Michael Morse, and Michael Saunders coming to bat here at Ken Griffey Jr. Hall of Fame night. On Root Sports, being brought to you by Ford. We are local. By Safeco Insurance. Do more. And by the Emerald Queen Casino, presenting Cage Sport Mixed Martial Arts August 24th. For tickets, go to emeraldqueen.com. Yep, they started lining up several hours before opening time. They wanted to get in, be a part of the night here. Ken Griffey Jr. goes into the Mariner Hall of Fame. Kendrys Morales leads it off. Morales, Morse, and Saunders here in the second. foul. And once the gates did open, got nothing on the Oklahoma Land Rush. Look at that.
Ain't no doubt about the house that Griffey built.
That's for sure. 0-2 here. This one just out of the reach of Francisco.
As we say, that's oh God, I'm sorry.
Remember that back in the day in '96? Sure. What a campaign that was.
The great commercials, getting to revisit those. That's been fun.
Donruss card from back in the day, from 1989, rookie card. Lots of people, generation of people up here in Seattle and around the country say they saw one of the greatest players ever. I'm sure a lot of guys and and gals are digging deep in the memorabilia box for their Griffey paraphernalia. Morales lays off 1-2. Kendrick's 1 for 3 against Gorzelani.
Put the collar on him last night, but this guy's been on fire the second half.
Fights it off.
370 the second half. That's pretty good.
Yes, it is.
440 in August. That'll get it done. I mean, this guy's just a flat-out great hitter. You just wish he'd come up every time with people on base.
Isn't that the truth?
Then it's like a pinball machine, man. He just lights up.
Starting tonight is the Mariners' leading hitter, 297, and the RBI leader with 64. He takes that one.
There aren't a lot of guys. He's kind of like an old-time hitter. You know, these guys that are pretty crafty and they can look real bad on a pitch. And then you try to go back to that pitch because that's what makes sense. And then he hurts you.
Big time.
He'll sit on it.
3-2 to Kendrick. And home plate umpire. Bruce Strickman said he did commit. He said he got that bat through the zone. And a strikeout for Gorzelani.
Little 91-mile little cutter right there on the inner half, and survey says he went.
Morales, there's a good side view. He did get through it.
When we watch him on slow-mo, there are always swings.
Yeah.
That's kind of the dirty truth. And of course, I'm a pitcher, so they are always swings.
Oh, absolutely. You know, showing that Union card again. Michael Morse, you want to talk about a guy trying to get on track. He hadn't had a hit since Tuesday. 0 for 9, 1 for his last 14.
And you know he's trying to get 5 hits in his next 3 at-bats. And this guy's a 290 career hitter. 290. He's just trying so hard to get it going, and he just has to let the baseball come to him.
Getting back in that zone he was in April.
Wow, that was something.
1-1. And there's a base knock for Michael Morse and a breaking ball. Good for him. First Mariner hit. Hey kids, add a Kyle Seager t-shirt to your back to school wardrobe. They're free to all youngsters 14 and under, coming up on Sunday the 25th as part of Boeing Salute the Kids Day. For tickets to see the Angels and the Mariners, pick up this great tee. If mom or dad, visit mariners.com. These kids weren't even born when Junior was reigning supreme in Major League Baseball. It's a good night for them to be here, celebrate with their folks. The greatest Mariner of them all. Michael Saunders lets it strike one.
That's where the storytelling comes in. I'm sure your dad had a few stories about ball players of past times.
That's why I'm here, man. That's why I'm here. Grew up on it. Absolutely.
I know how much you enjoyed seeing Willie Mays on the screen talking about
my man right there. Had the pleasure of interviewing him multiple times on TV shows over back in the day. And I'm sure Junior, matter of fact, I know he does. Junior elicits the same response people hear At one time we had Willie Mays on a TV show, and guys my age and older had grown up seeing him were crying when he walked into the room. Same with Mantle. One or two to Michael Saunders.
Yeah, I grew up as a Chicago Cub fan, so I had that same lineup for a decade. My guy was Billy Williams.
There you go, sweet swinging.
Much like Michael Saunders, his idol was Ken Griffey. Billy Williams was the hitting coach for the Oakland A's when I joined the team.
Man,
isn't that crazy? First guy I run into when I walked in the hotel, Billy Williams.
Were you able to say anything, or did you have cotton mouth?
I had air under my feet as it was, trying to join the big leagues. Know I was going to start in a couple days against Reggie Jackson and the California Angels.
Right. Billy Williams, nice man. Talked to him at spring training a couple of years ago.
Oh,
a lot of fun, man. Hall of Famer. And 2 to Saunders.
There's just a little bit more to the story. When I was 6 years old, my mother took me to a department store in Waukegan, Illinois, where I grew up, far north side, and Billy Williams was going to be there. This is before he became a big star. Nobody showed up, and he had a ton of time for me, and that was it. He was my guy. Started reading the Chicago Tribune, wanted to learn how to figure out batting averages, and it comes full circle, Dave. I got to meet him when I came to the big leagues.
Did you wear 26 growing up?
Oh, yes. Had the same stroke, working that wiffle ball game in the backyard, right?
More respect safely.
Didn't quite have the stroke that carried me to the big leagues, though. So
good thing you had a good left arm. Three and 2 here to Saunders with Morris at first, one down. And Michael is gone. Speaking of Mr. William Howard Mays, time for our Sterling Bank Nobody Works Harder for you. Rawlings Gold Glove all-time team. We're talking about some guys that can go get it.
Wow.
Willie Mays, Roberto Clemente, Wes Parker, a brilliant first baseman. Mr. Fairley, I think, made his departure upon the entrance of Wes Parker. Joe Morgan, Ozzie Smith, Brooks Robinson, Johnny Bench, and Greg Maddux. Man, does a ball ever hit the turf?
No.
That is some group.
A lot of hardware there.
Here's Smoke. Opposite field home run yesterday, batting left-handed. Dude, way to go yesterday. Hey, man, even a blind squirrel gets lucky every now and then. I said, come on, you're swinging it well. That's all that matters.
Yeah, slowly but surely, this young man is coming on. Hitting .321 since July 1st with some damage. Trying to fill the promise of that trade for Cliff Lee. I mean, I think that's a tall order.
And how many times recently, particularly with the success of Chris Davis, former teammate in the Texas organization, people have said they're hoping for the exact same thing. The teams are patient. Davis, sometimes it takes some guys, you see some guys it takes longer than others. Certainly he's had a lot of plate appearances over the course of his career.
Yeah, I see the little run he's on right now. And he's just a little short of the ball. He looks better. He's getting good balls to hit, and he's doing some damage.
2-1 pitch. Out of back.
There's Lonnie with his two-seamer away, and whoosh. Right on that pitch right there. Just fouled it straight back.
Smoke with 1,768 plate appearances coming into tonight's game, averaging 233. 2-2. Breaking ball down the line, foul.
Just not going to look in the rearview mirror. We're going to turn our attention toward the horizon with this guy.
You probably have done the same thing I have. Every coach, when you talk about, is this for real? And everybody that I've spoken to, they are on board with this guy. They're riding him. They're gonna ride him to the max.
I like his temperament. I like what he brings to the table at first base, and I think it's a blessing that he's got Morales and Ibanez.
Strikeout number 4 for Gorzelani as he strands Michael Morse at first base. No scores. We go to the 3rd.
On and a fly ball hit deep into the gap in right center field. The kid on his horse back to the warning track. The wall makes the leap. And makes an unbelievable catch. My, oh my!
Tell you what, I don't know anybody living or dead or yet to be born can make that catch.
That's the greatest single play that I've ever witnessed in sports. I was there. Rich DeLucia on the mound. Ruben Sierra hit that ball. He was playing him slightly the other way. Wow.
And to cover that ground and make that kind of impact, just remarkable. As we look at Scooter Gennett, second baseman, leading off. Sounds like a second baseman, doesn't it? Scooter Gennett, 2 for 4 last night.
Well, this guy's hit in the minor leagues. They like his bat. Not terrific defensively. He can run. We saw that last night. So, again, Ricky Weeks goes down. Young player gets chance.
Tell you what, Ricky Weeks is a big-time player. That's a huge loss. His full name is Ryan Joseph Gennett.
Scooter works.
That's a baseball player. 5'10", 157. Bouncing the ball down to Franklin. One out. Well, the Mariners are going to conclude the homestand tomorrow. CenturyLink linked to what's next. Willie Peralta goes against the King. Felix Hernandez. He's due for a game, Bill, where the defense is solid, the run support is solid, because I think he's going to take care of his end.
You think? Guy is a tremendous pitcher. Just absolutely tremendous. You should never miss his start. TV or in person.
With a break or two, what is he? He's 11-5. Should be like 15 and, well, I wouldn't say 15-1, but he should have 15, 16 wins, 16-4, something like that.
Easily.
Remember, he's had so many no decisions
with one run or less, and got no decision.
More than that. Last time I looked, I think it was more than half of his no decisions he left with the lead. Carl Willis, the last time out when that happened in Boston, Carl Willis, the pitching coach, said, I did something I never do to pitchers. Went up to him and told him, man, I'm sorry. Bullpen did not have a good night. Aoki.
That was a rough one to watch.
1-1 to count. Comebacker. Iwakuma, easy out. You ever have a pitching coach say that to you? Dude, I'm sorry.
No, I didn't quite have quite lived in that kind of rarefied air.
Well, that speaks to just about everybody, for everybody, to Ken Griffey Jr. He's going to join us in the 4th inning here. Look forward to that. 2 outs here in the 3rd for Milwaukee. You know, it was great before the game. Bob Christopherson and his fabulous staff put that 24 out there. And the pitchers, when they come out for their warm-ups, usually they do it down the right field line. And I was putting my book together, and Robbie Nielsen, our crack stage manager, said, look what the guys are doing. They had all the pitchers surrounding the number 24 doing their stretching exercises. And then the regular team came out later and did the same thing, paying tribute to Ken Griffey Jr. I thought that was a wonderful
very
touch.
Cool. A hallowed ground.
James Clifford, the exercise specialist, had the guys out there. Great job, Clifford. Good thought. Here's Miller cutting it off, throwing out. Aoki, 8 pitches, very efficient work by Kuma. No score here at Safeco Field. Baseball on Root Sports, being brought to you by Sterling Bank. Nobody works harder for you. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. And by Northern Quest Resort and Casino in Spokane, Washington. Visit northernquest.com for more information. They're lining up to see Ken Griffey Jr. just walks into the booth right now. Get that bobblehead before the game on a beautiful day here in Seattle on a terrific night. Hey, man, good to see you. Junior will be joining us in a couple of minutes. Get the chair, get him all mic'd up. Dustin Ackley to lead it off here in the home 3rd against Tom Gorzolani. Oh, man, good to see you.
Yeah.
Hey, congratulations on everything.
Thank you.
Bill
What
Kruger.
a night, Kenny.
Thank you. How are
You
you?
did a great job in your speech. You held it together.
I lost it a little bit when they showed Trey.
Yeah, we saw that.
We were totally, as dads, we were totally digging that. We could relate. As soon as you saw him, you were done, man.
Yeah, it's him. You know, I don't get to see him a whole lot, and you know, when I do, it's special.
Good for you. Tell me, or tell the fans this. I mean, you can connect with the TV audience because they had a chance to watch. You did a great job in saluting all your friends. The depth. Give us you've had a few more minutes to reflect on it. What this means to you.
It means a lot. I mean, it's you play baseball because you love it, and when an organization goes out of their way to make a day for you, that's the ultimate. And to be able to do it here in Seattle in front of 45,000, I mean,
What was it like when you come through the center field and they say your name and all of a sudden the place goes nuts? Was that different from any other experience you've had? Here's a fly ball to the gap. That is tracked down by Aoki.
I felt like a bullpen pitcher. Coming in, getting a save. Now I see how, bullpen pitchers,
it's a rush, isn't it?
That's a long walk, though. I mean, my heart was pounding. As soon as they opened the door, I was like, don't trip, don't fall. Just don't do anything to embarrass yourself. And I made it. But it was definitely a rush.
What'd your old man say?
He just looked at me. He goes, he's one of the funniest guys. He goes, as you were walking in, you got taller, but when you were way out there, you were like 5. And you were a grown man by the time you got in.
That's a good call. That really is. That's a good
and
call.
I just look at him, and I understand that as a dad now. Your kids come up to you, and you're like, wow, you got big quick.
What are some of the things you're going to take from this? Because, this is a great moment for you in the rest of your life.
I'm going to take everything. The 2 days have been unbelievable. The fans have been outstanding. The media, I got a chance to see guys that I haven't seen in 10 years coming to the ballpark. Just the whole atmosphere. And the weather's been unbelievable. Everything about it has just been great. I can't pick one thing because the organization, rolled out the red carpet for my family. And we appreciate it so much of what they did.
Well, Kenny, you try to diffuse the moment. You did a good job of it. You kind of spread the love around the organization, the players, all your teammates. What a group.
Yeah.
But I think we got a good look at what really makes you tick, the love of your family, and I think that was pretty obvious.
Yeah, my dad has keep going.
Fly ball deep to left center field. Gomez is there. And we'll take a break and come back with more with Ken Griffey Jr. here on his big night as he goes into the Mariners Hall of Fame. A special, special night here in Seattle. Evening, Dave Sims Jr. himself, Bill Kruger. You got Chuck Armstrong just came through here, club president. He broke down during the reception beforehand, about an hour before the big show.
Yeah. Chuck is one of those guys that he cares so much for this organization, and people don't really know that about him. He takes a loss harder than anybody in this building. And he wants to bring a championship to this city so bad. And, and I've known him since I was 17. So it's a different relationship than most people get a chance to know. And he does things that for players that no ownership does. And he, like I said, he cares so much for the people of this city and wants to hang a banner that says World Series champs, world champs. And one day we're going to get it.
Iwakuma, and that one goes under the dive of Seager. Lucroy 2 for 2. See all these Griffey jerseys. Some from back in your early days and the newer ones. What goes through your mind when you see all this stuff?
I thought I was in another commercial. They were cloning me.
I love the commercial where you play all 9 positions. That is tremendous.
It's truly an honor. I mean, to have somebody that says, you know what, I am going to use my hard-earned money and I'm going to purchase a jersey with your name on it. It's it means a lot.
One thing that impressed me, Kenny, and a little bit of it came out with Make-A-Wish, is that you never played to the camera. You did things when nobody was watching. I think people should know that. If they didn't pick up on that watching the ceremony tonight, that you have a heart of gold for kids. And that's one of the things that impresses me even more than your tremendous career.
Thank you. When it comes to Make-A-Wish, I mean, you have a child that, nobody knows how long they're going to be alive. And you want to give them a chance to have a smile on their face for no matter how long it is. And I can get a new glove, I can get a new bat, I can get a new jersey, I can get anything in that clubhouse. I can get it, and they can get it. But for them to say, you know what, I want to have that jersey. Okay, what else you want? You want this, that, I did give the game console away. I didn't mind doing that. But that's the beauty of it, is that these people, the families come in and smile. When they leave, I don't want them to think that something's wrong with them. I want them to have as much fun as they can while they're here. And the 4 hours that they spend here before the game, you know what? Batting practice isn't that important, when it comes to what they're going through. I mean, we just want them to enjoy the life of being out on the baseball field.
They get the double play. Seager throwing over to get Lucroy. So a quick 2 outs. What's on the agenda for the rest of your evening?
Whatever Mama wants.
Standard. That's a good standard response.
But I got 3, so I got to let them fight over it. I got Big Mama, Mama, and Little Mama. So, and most likely I'm gonna agree with Little Mama, because the other 2 could be mad at me for a couple hours. Taryn could be mad at me for like 3 weeks, and I'm gonna side on her for a while.
Yeah, I hear you. I said she had the knee brace on. She's recovering from another ACL. Should be fine for basketball season.
We don't know. We're gonna hold out for right now. We're just gonna play really cautious. She's gonna go to U of A with Big Brother. She's looking forward to that, but she's having fun. I mean, she knows that hard work, paid off, and it was just a little tweak.
Glad to be here, be part of it, share with you, man.
Thank you.
Hey, all the best.
Thank you.
All right, man.
And I'm going to need another hat for the Kentucky Derby. I'm going to let you know that now.
All right, you got it.
All right, thank you.
Don't worry about it. Ken Griffey Jr.
Really
Tell everybody hi.
Great night.
Joining us here in the booth. And we'll be back with more right after this. Hall of Fame night at Safeco Field. A reminder that this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. Busy night for Ken Griffey Jr. It's being pulled and tugged in every direction, as you might expect. Big night for him going into the Mariners Hall of Fame, and we appreciate his stopping by here in the booth. Kyle Seager going to lead it off in the bottom of the fourth for the Mariners against Tom Gorzelany. Comes in with a record of 2-4, 2.78 ERA. Big breaking ball for strike one. Kyle fouled out to the third baseman Betancourt. First time up.
Kyle's had a terrific season. I mean, he had that huge month of July where he hit 396. Just a solid offensive season.
Another pop up. Uni's got this one measured as well. One out. So it's back-to-back pop-ups. Betancourt. As we take a look at today's cold hard facts, Ken Griffey Jr. 140 plus ribbies in 3 consecutive seasons. Third player all time. A guy named Ruth and a guy named Garrett. Only done it more. How about that? 50 plus.
Pretty fair company there.
Gold glove of the season. Second player to accomplishment. Only player to do it twice. I mean, the numbers are just astounding.
Yeah, that little run from 96 through 99.
Yeah.
Ooh.
that pretty much covers it when you do look at those numbers. You gotta.
I mean, they were all good, but.
And here are the numbers you're talking about. Look at it.
Wow.
Yep.
Just unbelievable numbers.
Morales behind 0-2. Hits it down to Gannett. 2 down. Superb numbers. Tremendous output. Anybody in baseball, I mean, geez.
And he was always telling everybody, I'm not a home run hitter.
Yeah. 630 bombs, 6 all time. Congrats to Junior indeed. 2 outs. Michael Morris got a base hit to left. Caught in between there. There's a strike. Foul off. Tell you one thing, after this whirlwind today, or yesterday and today, Junior will sleep well tonight.
Yeah, I think the build up to that crescendo was huge for him, and as much as he absolutely had to relish in the moment, I know it was stressful.
I loved all the best wishes that they showed on the screen. The one that really, a couple of Bo Jackson, Willie Mays, and then Ichiro. I thought Ichiro was outstanding.
Was he funny? That was great.
Yeah, it really was.
Really heartfelt as well.
1-2 sellout tonight. First sellout of the year. 46,027. Well, all these folks can say they were there. Tonight, Ken Griffey Jr. went into the Mariners Hall of Fame, and this one hit on the button on a hopper to Segura, and the Mariners go quietly in the fourth. Bunch of zeros up on the board. Gorzelany battling Iwakuma here at Safeco Field. TNT trivia question. How many players saw Major League action in each of the last 4 decades? That's a good question. I just saw Junior. That covers 1, so take A off the list. Let's call a game here, but I'll go with C3. What do you got, Bill?
Quick thought.
Yeah, what the heck? Sometimes if you don't just take the dart, that's where it landed.
I've got 2 or 3. I don't know if I've got 4, but I mean, just for fun, I'll just say 4, just so we have a little something going here.
See what gives. Fans text in. Chris Davis leading off, struck out. The first strikeout victim and the only one so far for Iwakuma. Got a double play in the 4th inning. Kuma with 1 strikeout, 1 walk, giving up 2 hits. Yeah, this is a different kind of night. You're talking about one of the baseball immortals. And, you know, he was, as I said last year when Felix threw the perfect game, was our guy.
Yes. Well, I think sometimes we think our pond is pretty big here in Seattle, and you know, you build up players that are great here, but this guy transcends. Transcends the market, and that's no shame. That actually makes him bigger than life.
No question. And I know from my time, you know, when I do games in the NFL, and that's what Griffey played.
Yep.
You know, you talk to guys over there, NBA, same thing. 2-2 here to Davis. Held on by Quintero. So another strikeout for Iwakuma. He's got Davis both times. Hey, this Sunday, take the Sounder train to Safeco Field to catch the Mariners game against these Brewers. 1:10 first pitch tomorrow. Sound Transit is offering a special kid-friendly schedule with the Sounder leaving 1 hour after the last out, so youngsters can enjoy the opportunity to run around the bases post-game. More information, log on to soundtransit.org. There's Juan Francisco, drew a walk first time. Off speed pitch, off the plate, ball 1. Fouled back, 1-1. I would imagine ticket holders tonight will be putting, maybe going to Frame Shop on Monday.
Yeah. Hang on to that one.
That's right. Put that baby in a frame, hanging up on the wall.
Really spoke from his heart. I mean, that was not a scripted deal. I mean, he had some thoughts in his head, but he let it all come out.
Short center field for Saunders. Two down here in the top of the 5th. By the numbers, 10 Gold Gloves, 13 times in the All-Star game, 7 Silver Sluggers, and 7 40-plus home run seasons. Wow, 417 as a Mariner.
No added flavors or colors either, Dave. That's all natural, this guy. And he paid the price with injuries and still put up an incredible career. He came to play the whole game. I think in his mind, he was almost defense first. He just wanted to suck up every ball.
Yes, indeed. Saunders back a few steps to get this off the bat of Betancourt. Iwakuma with a 9-pitch inning. He's been super duper efficient here tonight, posting 0 after 0. Michael Saunders, Justin Smoke, and Dustin Ackley when we get back to Mariner Baseball.
Jack Griffey is tied to Major League record. Holy cow, the kid has done it.
Ron Fairley on the call. 8 consecutive games with a home run. That pitch got killed, too. Oh. Got it. Jeez.
Signature 100+ mile-an-hour swing from Ken Griffey.
A lot of memories up there, to be sure, and looking to add to them at some point, hopefully sooner than later.
And he addressed that in his speech.
Yeah.
He looked right over those players and said, this group up here, he was referring to all the all-stars that were behind him, were right there where they were sitting. Stay together, and it can happen again, which was impressive.
And what he said about Jay Buhner, I know they're super close, and he had said it yesterday at the luncheon. God forbid anything ever happened to him, Melissa. He said, I want that man to raise my kids. That is the ultimate. Doesn't get any bigger compliment than that.
Well, I don't know how you suck that one up and keep it dry.
Yeah,
and he
exactly
didn't.
Right. Yeah, he didn't. Cue the tears. Here they come. Can't be stopped. That touches you right to your heart, man.
Yeah, all kidding aside, that was really something
special.
Jay and him are pretty close. Jay's a tremendous person, as well as being an unbelievable player.
Tell you what, if we had Headbone up here with him, we'd all be crying.
Yeah.
Saunders struck out on a 3-2 pitch last night. Fouls that one off.
Gorzelany's been tough on everybody, but left-handers hitting $173 coming in. He's throwing some pretty nasty spinners to him, running the ball in. So it's a rough seat if you're left-handed. You got to just get in there and battle. Try to go the other way with him.
Coming in is Gomez. He says, got it. Nobody's challenging him. 1 out. This season, the Mariners and the Luna Family Hearing are partnering for Senior Sundays at Safeco Field. All fans 60 and older, yay, receive $5 off select view or $10 off select main level seats for all Sunday afternoon games. The next event is scheduled for tomorrow against these Brewers at 1:10. Tickets are available at the Safeco Field box office with a valid ID. Talking to Mike Bremley, first base coach for the Mariners, talking about Gorzelany. Tom has been murdered on lefties. And he went back through all kinds of video. And a left-hander's not gotten a hit off of Gorzelany's slider going back to July. Like 37 opportunities.
Well, his time in the bullpen has been focused obviously on a lot of left-handers. The last few years in the National League, more of a mix toward relief. And with all the depletions in the rotation, Gorzelany, who wants to start, has gotten his chance. And in 6 turns, he's thrown the ball well. He's thrown the ball excellent tonight.
Gorzelany and Iwakuma, what a pitching matchup tonight. Both guys have given up 2 hits. Gorzelany struck out 5, make that 4, beg your pardon. Kuma struck out 2, got Chris Davis both times and walked 1. And a dismissal for Smoke, 2 down. Second time he's K'd, first time looking.
That was a clinic. Hard away, soft away, spinner, bust him in. Pretty rough seat for anybody right there.
Brings up Ackley, got a base hit to left. Slicing drive. Gomez is fast, but not fast enough to catch that one. Ackley into second with a stand-up double. So a 2-for-2 night for Dustin Ackley, going opposite field both times. First extra base hit in the ball game, 11th double for Ackley.
Ackley got a couple hits last game of the series against Toronto, and back on cue in this ball game. Did exactly what we talked about. You're not going to be able to pull Gorzelany, so he goes the other way, finds a little bit of real estate out there, and we all know that he can run, turns it into a double.
And I'll bring up Humberto Quintero. flied out to right in his first at bat.
He didn't get a hit last night, Dave, but he hit 2 balls right on the button to right field. He's been swinging the bat very well from there.
Lined out to right, fly to right, lined out to right, and then grounded out to short. Fouled into the glove of Lucroy, strike 1. So the Q comes in 3 for 10 on the homestand, 0 for 1 here tonight. Bouncing ball goes foul. 0-2 to Quintero.
Went fastball above the hands. There he went, change up away. Gorzelani, 14 out of 18 first pitch strikes, and when you do that, you can expand and change speeds. He's just he's kind of done it all. Quintero going to have to grind away here, stay inside the baseball and fight.
Quintero with a huge 2-run homer, game winner in the 5th inning in the Wednesday win against Toronto. This one popped up. Lucroy might have a play. He does, and that'll do it for the Mariners. Boy, Gorzelani has been just murdered. No score, end of 5. Today's Tracer Technology is brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. All righty, back here. Ken Griffey Jr. goes into the Mariners Hall of Fame this evening. Then a baseball game breaks out. 2 pitchers on top of their games, Bill Kruger.
Yeah, quite a duel. Irakuma's been razor sharp, and Gorzelani, stepping in that Brew rotation, has been excellent as well.
9-1-2 coming up here in the 6th against Kuma. Scooter Gennett, Norichika Aoki, and Gene Segura. Bunt laid down. Seager was creeping in, makes the play, 1 down. He was reading that baby all the way. He was walking in as the pitch was delivered by Iwakuma and was ready for that bunt. So we take a look at our Money Tree in-time play.
Seager has proven, despite his fielding problems, that he can play the position, and he has done an excellent job of playing this ball in particular. Here you see the off-balance throw to get the speedy Gennett.
It was well played.
Very nice. That forehand play that Brooks Robinson made famous. Of course, we got a great view of that play with Adrian Beltre. Wow, he could really do it.
It's his favorite play. Aoki, a couple of ground outs tonight. 0-2.
You know, probably not much is said about it, but you would kind of guess that when stars from Japan get over here and they go against one another, there's just a little bit more on the plate, don't you think?
Well, we saw it with Ichiro going against Darvish, Daisuke, Uehara, any of the relievers we've seen over the last few years. Iwakuma can't get that one. Franklin will charge. Bare hand. Did he get him? He did. Fine play.
What a terrific change from last night, when the Mariners kind of stumbled and bumbled around. Tonight they've been razor sharp on defense. We've seen 2 bare hand plays. This is a great one because Aoki can fly, but there you get that feel from Franklin that can throw off balance and has just that cannon that he can depend on to kind of bail him out of plays. That shortstop's arm, that's a terrific play right there.
Acting manager Robbie Thompson making his feelings known to the boys. Let's tighten up that defense, huh? Mariners in the middle of the pack starting today. Milwaukee dead last in the National League. Here's Segura, 0 for 2. Not anymore. To the gap. Long chase by Saunders. Segura can run. He'll hold it at second with the double. His 17th. He's a hits leader in the National League now. He's got 141 base hits. Let's take a look at the Mariners calendar, brought to you by Sleep Country USA. Finish up with the Brewers tomorrow, and then a rugged road trip. The Rays for 3, the Rangers for 3, and then Oakland for 3.
Texas back on cue, playing well. Tampa Bay has had a great run the second half. They'll be tough. It's going to be a challenge for this young team.
Be interesting to see how the rotation in Tampa Bay works out. All these years we've yet to see, the Mariners have yet to see David Price. Bouncing ball as he plays Seager. Takes his time. Throws out Lucroy, who had been 2 for 2 coming into that at bat. That'll do it. Kuma gives up a base hit, strands that runner at second. No score here at Safeco Field. Mariners baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Mazda. We believe if it's not worth driving, it's not worth building. By Northern Quest Resort and Casino in Spokane, Washington. Visit northernquest.com for more information. And by BNSF Railway, the engine that connects us. Look at the lightning in the background last night this morning between 1 and 3 a.m. Time-lapse photography. What a day here at Safeco Field. Workers cleaning this baby up. Clouds blown away. Blue skies. And it's a lot of interesting stuff here at Safeco Field. Thankfully, I missed the thunder and lightning storm. I was long been asleep by that time. Down the line foul off the bat of Brad Miller, leading it off here in the Mariners' 6th.
Normally I'm like Wood, but that woke me up, maybe because we're just a little bit more out by the foothills.
Okay.
But it was
loud, real
yeah,
show.
Yeah.
Rattle the windows and everything. Right?
Oh yeah.
Brad Miller 0 for 2 tonight. Grounded out the first, fouled out to the second baseman. Brad looking to extend his hitting streak to 5 games. Tom Gorzelany has really been good tonight. Tom out of Evergreen Park, Illinois. Went to Marist High School in Chicago. You're a Chicago area guy, Bill Kruger. Evergreen
Yes,
Park, where's that in relation to the great city of
I
Chicago?
think that would be west.
A little bit west.
I'm sure we'll get a call on that one because I might be wrong.
0-2. You didn't play those guys in high
I was
school.
on the far north side, and I was very young. Okay, I didn't get that worldly until I moved west. 13 years old. You're not zooming around too much.
I
at that
got
point.
you.
But I love growing up there. Sports are just so fantastic, and love going back there when we have the chance.
0-2 here to Miller. He fought that one off, hit it down to Betancourt. And Uni just throws out Miller, 1 out. Good hustle by Miller down the line. We'd like to welcome ComSpan Bendon subscribers from Bendon, Oregon. Thank you for rooting on the Seattle Mariners. All of us here at Root Sports and the Mariners appreciate your support. And if you're a golfer, my man, that's where you want to be. Bandon Dunes, renowned worldwide for its spectacular golf. Golf Magazine has done a lot of great spreads on the golfing there.
Closest as you can get to Scotland, I think, in the golf world.
Here's Nick Franklin.
Never would have thought that in a million years. We went down there as kids. You know, I grew up in Oregon, went down there when we were pretty young. Not much down there. A little seaside town and some sand dunes. Not so much anymore.
Well, that's on a lot of golfers' bucket list. I'll tell you that right now. 2-0. 3-0 to Nick. 3 hits for the Mariners. Morse in the first. Ackley in the third. Ackley in the fifth. That's it. Kyle Seager's on deck. And Franklin will take ball 4. First walk issued by Gorzelany. See if they can do something with it. 1 out here in the 6th. Check in with Angie Mentink for the first time tonight. Hey, Angie.
Hi, guys. Thanks. You know what? Usually we take a trip down on the farm. Well, in tonight's minor league report, we are actually going to take another look at Griffey's minor league career. And to be honest with you, it wasn't all that long. 1989 is when he started his major league career. His pro career, as most know, started in Bellingham, where he played just 54 games in 1987. The next year, Junior spent time with San Bernardino and AA Vermont. In all, Griffey played 129 minor league games before his major league debut, guys. He hit .320 during that stretch, 27 home runs, and 92 RBI. Not too shabby. I wonder why they called him up so fast, really.
Yeah, really. All right, Angie, thank you. I was talking to Roger Hanson about that. Roger, one of Jack Zarincik's executive right-hand guys, roomed with Griffey in rookie ball. I said, give me a Griffey story from back in the day when you guys were young kids coming up. Here's 1-0 pitch. Hit hard right to the first baseman, Francisco. They go to Segura. They turn the 3-6-3 double play. Tell that story when we come back. That was like lightning. No score. We go to the 7th.
Love a base hit into the gap, and they could win it with Junior speed to stretch. And the 0-1 pitch on the way to Edgar. Line for a base hit. Here comes Joy. Here is Junior to third base. They're going to wave him in. The throw to the plate will be late. The Mariners are going to play for the American League Championship. I don't believe it. It just continues. My, oh my.
Epic moment in Seattle Mariners history called by Hall of Famer Dave Niehaus. Still get chills.
You know, a dramatic moment, an improbable moment for the Mariners, but what a perfect call by Niehaus. I mean, it's right there with all the best in baseball.
And there's a base hit, a terrific bunt by Carlos Gomez. Use that speed, and he gets a base hit. Smoke needed the old extendo arm to get him.
Yeah, this guy can flat out pick him up and put him down. Smokey does his best to try to get over there. Gomez smart, goes for the slide around the reach by Justin Smoke.
Inspector Gadget. It's about the only guy that could have helped Smoke.
Matthew Broderick.
Gomez having a fabulous year, second in triples, fifth in slugging. Among the leaders in stolen bases. But that Roger Hansen story, I saw Roger, I said, give me a Griffey story. So he says, you know, Junior had actually had a time in A-ball where he was struggling. And they were, you know, they come back to the room and says, I don't know if I'm good enough to play this game. My father was a great player. I don't know if I can do this. Maybe I should be playing football. And Roger looked at him like he was crazy. He says, just go out there and have fun. You're fine, okay? You're fine.
Yeah, from the outside looking in.
Yeah.
I mean, he had such deep respect for his dad. I mean, that's what drove him. He wanted to be like his dad. You know, the stories we heard at the luncheon where he could never get a hit when his dad watched him play.
Was that
never
something?
Get a hit? Unbelievable.
What did he tell him to put on a wig maybe when you come back next time I get a hit?
And drag, he said.
And one story, he said that Senior was there for 2 at-bats. He did nothing.
Yep.
So he sees him later in the day. He said, what'd you do today? Oh, I went 3 for 5. What do you mean you went 3 for 5?
With 2 homers. He punched out twice while Dad was there.
Crazy.
You know what? Just like anything. I mean, you think about having to grow up being Kenny Jr.'s son, but I think it was just as difficult for someone as talented as Ken to do it.
Juniors have it tough as it is, but Senior had 75 and 76. Gomez runs, hit and run. Seager can't get it. Miller throws the first off the bag, and Smoke doesn't have a play. And here come the Brewers. Caleb Gindel put it in play, and he's got an infield base hit.
Boy, talk about C&I.
Back-to-back infield hits by the Milwaukee Brewers, and they've now starting to put some pressure on Iwakuma here in the 7th.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is where this guy shines. I don't want to make it like he jinxed the 90% foul shooter, but runners on base 194, RISP 158. Bases loaded 125, RISP with 2 outs 111. This guy is Dick Tracy incarnate. Mr. Iwakuma, the master of RISP. Let's see him do it.
About the first inning he gets out of in Boston with a 1-2-3 double play and a line out, a hard liner to Smoke. That was especially interesting as Quintero keeps that one in his glove.
Eric Wedge talks about heartbeat. This guy's got that one figured out. He stays pretty calm, and he understands how to prey upon the hitter's aggressiveness.
What's the guy he wants right here? He's already struck out Davis twice.
Got him with the split the first time and then climbed the ladder around the second time.
Those 2 hits lead off the 7th, give Milwaukee 5 hits this evening. Runners at the corners, nobody out. Gindel 2 for 2 base stealing. Milwaukee, the #1 base stealing team in the major leagues.
Yeah, when you don't have all that damage in the middle of the lineup, you got to kind of turn the rabbits loose.
Tried to paint and missed it. 2-0. Robbie Thompson, acting manager, while Eric Wedge recovers from his stroke suffered a few weeks ago. Good to see Eric. A few days ago, he was here at the ballpark.
Glad to see him in good spirits and on his way to a full recovery.
Hit down to Seager. Going to throw him home. They get him. Oh, he dropped the ball. Going back to retag to make sure it's Gomez. And now we've got Quintero. He's hurt. So 1-0. 1-0 Milwaukee. So fielder's choice RBI for Chris Davis.
Real nice backhand play by Seager. We see the play at the plate as he had to reach for the baseball and try to, and boy, you can see him just inside of his right knee got smoked by Gomez.
Didn't need a knee contract. You know from playing basketball, that really hurts.
Off balance throw by Seager.
So Gomez, seeing that he was in safely, didn't mess around to make sure. He goes back.
Boy, tough to be, you know, a catcher where you're exposed like that, Dave.
Exactly.
I mean, Gomez is no small guy. He's getting ready to plow him.
So he gets
Quintero steps away, but his leg is exposed.
And he got a little forearm and almost some shoulder. And Henry Blanco's coming in from the bullpen. He's going to have to take over. For that knee to knee really hurts. So the Brewers, they go 2 infield hits and a fielder's choice, and they've got a 1-0 lead. Quintero will have to leave the ball game, or maybe not. We'll find out when we get back. Well, Quintero, let's talk about how tough hockey players are. Anybody that plays at the major league levels at catcher is an extraordinarily tough individual.
Hockey players are there, the guys that play on the wedge in the NFL, and then there's catchers. And you can pick the order.
And as we saw, he takes the knee to knee plus in the upper body. Might have got a little chin too. So, and he was exposed because Seager had a tough angle, you know, after making the play.
Because he's got to throw over the top of the runner, which you really can't see in that play.
Right, so his
off-balance crossfire, trying to get the ball where he can handle it, and boy, you end up exposing the catcher who's waiting for the freight train to arrive at the station.
And you see him, you hear him, and there's nothing he can do about it. So runners at the corners. Kindle at third. He went all the way from first to third, and Davis, he's at first. Nobody out. Here's Juan Francisco, a walk and a fly to center. Chris Davis at first base. He's 2 for 2 in base stealing. Center field, slicing away from Saunders. Can't get it. Gindel will score easily. Davis the third. He's getting the stop sign. An RBI double by Juan Francisco. It's now 2-0 Milwaukee. RBI for Francisco is 41st on his 9th double.
First pitch from Irakuma, a little swing back sinker. He got it up in the strike zone a little bit. Francisco gets the better part of the bat on it. I think this ball fools Saunders just a little bit. Carried a little bit more than he thought. Wasn't able to quite get there.
Slice on that was murder too. It's tough. Irakuma coming out with Anthony Suzuki on your left. Interpreter. Irakuma does not speak English. It's a great rule that Major League Baseball put in. Makes sense, all the sense in the world.
That's a good, you got to take a break. I mean, he's as I mentioned, been so terrific with runners in scoring position, and there's just not a large, obviously no margin for error in this inning. He's been obviously very efficient. There's plenty of gas in the tank right here. Orvis Medina warming up in the bullpen.
The runners at second and third. Nobody out. Yuniesky Betancourt, the hitter, 0 for 2. Grand slam last night in the 5th. Time called. Pitch to Betancourt. Strike one to Uni.
Uni trying to lift and separate again right there. Good pitch by Iwakuma, sinker away. Betancourt trying to pull. Extra incentive when you come back to play with your original ball club. Want to do something.
0-1 pitch to Betancourt. That'll get it done. Base hit. That'll score another run. 3-0 as Ackley gets it back in. So Uni. 3 straight RBIs here by the Brewers in the 7th. Uni's 43rd run batted in.
He's got a couple balls up. You know, the first pitch to Francisco just a little bit up, and that was actually a poor pitch. A split that he was trying to kind of throw down on top of the plate, left it up middle in, and not where Hisashi wanted to throw the baseball.
Going along quite well through 6. And then things start to happen.
You know, very similar script to the last game. You know, he was dazzling against Toronto, 6 scoreless, and then it unwound on him in the 7th. Same scenario here, but again, you know, it's tough when you don't have run support and you're trying to stop them cold, and sometimes the crooked number appears because you're trying to stop them cold.
Outside to Scooter Gennett, who's 0 for 2, tried to bunt his way on. Nice play by Seager to throw him out, leading off the 6th. Three consecutive RBIs. Davis, Francisco, and Betancourt. 1-0 to Gennett. That's off the plate, 2-0. So this inning, 11 pitches, 3 runs on 4 hits. Iwakuma.
Well, their speed really plays. I mean, those first 2 base hits are all about speed. And then a couple balls up in the zone, and suddenly it's 3-0.
2-0 pitch. To right field and deep, backing up Morse. He's on the track, running out of room, and it is gone. A home run, a 3-run shot. Goes off the glove. First base umpire out there, Corey Blazer. And the Milwaukee Brewers have blown it wide open here in the 7th. Gennett with his 2nd home run takes his RBI total to 8.
Ball starting to sneak up on Iwakuma. Fastball that kind of left up on the middle or the inner half of the plate up. Michael Morse. Whoa. Talk about having it in your glove and having it pop out.
Tough.
Here the effort by Morse. 6'5", reaching up over the edge of the fence, almost able to make the play.
Somebody has a heck of an arm to throw that in from right field.
Wow, give that fan a contract, as we used to say in Baltimore.
Sheesh.
Well, you know, it's kind of a humid night, Dave, and we've got the roof closed, and I think we've got Carey. That ball really snuck past Saunders. I think it fooled him, and that ball right there looked like a fly ball to right that just left. Ball carrying much better with the roof shut, and as I said, humid conditions.
Just like last night, bottom of the order doing damage for the Brewers. Bottom of the order last night went 7 for 16. and drove in 7 runs. And here tonight, spots 6 through 9, getting it done here in the 7th inning. 4 straight hitters have delivered runs batted in. 6-0 lead. Flipped in to left field, down the line, and foul off the bat of Aoki.
Well, we talked about this Brewer club decimated by injuries, young players getting a chance. You look at the 18 games since Braun was suspended, 67 runs in those 18 games. That's just a little over 3 a game. But sometimes, you know, you got the wrong moment. We run into a team that's been on a dry spell, and suddenly the dam breaks.
See it in every sport, too. You look at it, oh, we should beat these guys. Oops. 7th man to the plate here, 1-2 pitch. Weak swing, fooled Aoki badly, he knew it. That is out number 1.
And that is a feat, because this guy's only struck out 26 times this year.
3rd K for Kuma tonight. Friday, August 23rd is all about the ladies, and Saturday the 24th all about the gents. Mariners will celebrate girls and guys night out here at Safeco Field, courtesy of EQC. Pick up a ticket, Mariners tea and a drink for one low price. That's going to be $25. That's good. Go get it. Select main level at $35 for select Terrace Club seats. So tickets at mariners.com/girls or mariners.com/guys. So we get back to Gene Segura. Double to right center field last time, 1 for 3. Comebacker to Iwakuma. Will be out number 2.
You know, these kind of innings happen, and it wasn't all bad pitching. Some of it was just some good fortune by the Brewers. But next time I anoint him as the king of risk, would you just let me? Would you just shut me up? And we'll wait till he does it, okay?
It's one of those things, man. It happens.
But I mean, he's been, you know, hey, he's been awfully good all year at doing that.
Number 9 man coming to the plate here in the 7th, Jonathan Lucroy, 2 for 3. Brewers last night, 5th inning, sent 10 men to the plate, scoring 5 runs on 5 hits. Strike 2 and 1. Medina continues to heat up. About see him in the 8th. Is that a play? 2 balls, 2 strikes to Lucroy, the 9th man to swing it here in the 7th inning.
Now, this has been an ugly inning, a big crooked one by Milwaukee against a really good pitcher. But you know, you can't win if you can't score. So they're going to have to find their hitting shoes and get her going here in the bottom half.
That's down the line, fair ball. So the Brewers got Iwakuma here in the 7th. They're about to bring the 10th man to the plate. And Lucroy enjoying a 3 for 4 night. That's going to do it. Robbie Thompson going to come get his number 2 pitcher on the staff, who had a very rocky 7th inning. 10th man coming to the plate. It's been all Brewers, 6-0 Milwaukee. Here at Safeco Field and Ken Griffey Jr. Now let's revisit our AT&T trivia question. How many players saw big league action in each of the last 4 decades? We know Jr. was one of them. I went with 3. Bill Kruger went with 4. The fans rode with me. 3. Survey says 3. Mr. Griffey, Mr. Vizquel, and Mr. Moyer.
I had Jamie in my head, but Omar, that should have been easy to pick out.
3 very distinguished careers.
One surefire Hall of Famer, and I think the shortstop deserves to be in. And Jamie Moyer has been downright incredible himself. I don't know if he's got Hall of Fame numbers.
I think he's going to fall short there,
career.
But I think Vizquel's got a real good shot.
Yeah. Well, Hisashi was brilliant for 6, and then the wheels came off, and he kind of stuck it in the ditch. The speed of the Brewers kind of found his way into trouble, the play at the plate, and then he made some not so good of pitches. Balls up in the zone, and they stuck a 6 on him.
Here's Medina to pitch to Carlos Gomez, the 10th man to swing it here in the 7th inning, and swing it he does, jumping out of his shoes there. Strike 1.
Tantalizing talent. He's starting to kind of find it, if you want to put it that way, with power and speed, a little more discipline at the plate, I guess.
Former Met, former Twin. Breaking the ball, gets the inside corner.
Medina's had a really good first year. I mean, he's had a few ups and downs, but hard sinking fastball in the mid-90s, a really good slider, and he's shown us that he's got a changeup that's useful.
Strike 3 called. He gets Gomez on 3 pitches. Damage though done. 10 minutes of the plate, 6 runs, 6 hits, no errors, 1 man left. Milwaukee with a 6-0 lead. Being brought to you by Washington's Lottery. Last year, Washington's Lottery turned 28.6 million Washingtonians into winning heirs. They can do the same for you. Thanks to Washington's Lottery, winning heirs are made daily. Dave Sims, Bill Kruger with you here in the Ruth Sports booth here at the Dave Niehaus Broadcast Center at Safeco Field. Full house, first sellout tonight, 46,027. And the Mariners get some work to do against Tom Gorzolani, who's been outstanding through 6 innings. He struck out 5, walked 1, giving up just 3 hits.
And he's been first pitch strike after strike. He has stayed out of the middle of the plate. Great breaking ball to left-handers. He's showing you the 2-seamer he's run in to lefties and away from righties, and a 4-seamer that's got a little cut. Fond memories of my days. That's I didn't always do it, but well, it's fun when you can get it going like he's had it going.
When it's working, you get those days. Were you a guy, I hear this all the time, bullpen. Did your bullpen necessarily dictate what you were going to do? Because I enjoyed talking to Jason Phillips, bullpen catcher, and he was telling stories about the first time Carl Willis saw Felix out and warming up in the bullpen, and he was all over the place, and then went out through like a 2-hitter.
I think a guy like Felix, he's a special case. You know, he gets his rhythm, and it's just all over. If you don't get a guy like that in the first inning, it's probably not going to happen.
But in bullpens, like when you were warming up,
you need to be really careful not to take judgment, because sometimes you feel flat and you don't feel like you've got anything.
Right.
And as soon as you hit the mound in the middle of the field, all of a sudden it's there.
The adrenaline comes in or whatever.
Yep. And some bullpens are different. Some places you throw and the ball doesn't pop the glove and you don't think you have it. So you really need to reserve judgment. Just kind of stay with your routine, and then because what you do out there doesn't count.
Flip side, you've had other times. Did you get maybe a little overconfident? Hey, I really feel it today, and then go out and maybe get lit up.
I don't think I was ever overconfident, Dave. I kind of went in with that inner confidence, but you know it's going to be a big challenge.
Yeah. Morrison an 0-2 hole. 1 for 2, beg your pardon. He got a base hit to left field, 1 out in the second, and then a run of 0 for 9. There goes fishing tag applied by Lucroy, 2 outs. So Gorzelani, half a dozen strikeouts now. Quick 2 outs. Waiting in traffic and paying for parking every day is Bush League. Step up to Sound Transit today. Visit soundtransit.org for details. Quick 2 outs here in the 7th. Michael Saunders strike out and a fly to center. Mariners have 3 hits. Morris 1 in the second and 2 by Ackley. 1 in the third, 1 in the 5th. That is all.
Well, that's been kind of the script against the Mariners. They've really struggled the last couple of months against left-handed pitching. And a big part of that, Michael Morris not being able to do what he can do. And they have a lot of left-handers in the lineup.
That is foul ball.
Well, this isn't about a guy that's throwing it down the middle, 2-0 on everybody, and they're popping it up. I mean, this guy's pitching. He's throwing the ball well.
4 lefties in the lineup tonight. Two on.
Michael likes hitting off left-handed pitching. We've seen him do some damage against them.
It's
impressive way. He's pretty comfortable. Stays in there well.
2-2 pitch in the dirt. On deck is Smoke. Mariners on the season 18-18 against lefty starters, 35-44 against righties. Saunders works a walk, second walk issued by Gorzelani. We'll wrap up this series in the homestand tomorrow. Our CenturyLink link to what's next. Willie Peralta against the King. Felix Hernandez. Kings Court will be in session. Get your tickets. It's an expanded section tomorrow. That'd be nice.
Yeah, I think that is a really cool promo. I know Felix loves it. It's a unique element you just don't see in baseball. That huge section down there with the K signs. I love it. I know he does too, and he doesn't disappoint.
It's a little extra juice in there. Here's Smoke. Strikeout swinging and looking. Off speed pitch for strike 1. Behind 0-2.
Gorzelani's done a lot of that. You start with a breaking ball. We saw Kyle Welch do that last night. Soft, early, hard, late. In the formula of success last night and tonight as well.
Boy, he has been in command. Moved his feet.
(18 to 25 first pitch strikes. That's above the magic line, 60% weight and above. So He's operating with an advantage.
Ball of 2 strikes. Saunders at first, 2 down. Got on top of it, drives it deep to left, down the line, it goes foul.
Trying to pound him in with the fastball right there and kind of got it out over the plate. Smokey almost reverses it down the line. Gonna pull the string.
1-2.
Good taste by Justin right there.
6-0 is the Brewers, top of the 7th. 10 minutes of the plate, 6 runs on 6 hits, a 3-run homer by Scooter Gennett. Outside prior to that 3-run homer. RBI fielder's choice by Davis, Juan Francisco, an RBI double and an RBI single by Yuniesky Betancourt. So Uni's got 5 ribbies in 2 games here.
Yeah, he's enjoying himself.
Smokes worked a 3-2 count. Popped it up. Playable. Betancourt. Francisco calling everybody off and missed it. Saunders got all the way around to third. Ball moving, and it would have been better served for Betancourt to make that catch. But he was called off by Francisco. Be a base hit.
We talk about the pitcher being the traffic cop. A little bit of indecision around the mound right there, and you got a guy that just started playing first base this year.
Saunders is moving on a 3-2 pitch and kept on going. And there he is. He playing it full tilt. He gets a third.
Brewer shaky on defense.
Boy,
there's his ugly head.
Dead last in the National League in defense. There's a door opener for you. You got to get through it now, make something happen.
As I mentioned, Francisco knew at first base. It just looked like, Gorzelani didn't really see the ball till later. And he's got to play traffic cop. He's got to get out in front of that screen for Betancourt to take it. Yep. Sure-handed guy with a better angle.
Michael Gonzalez warming up. Chance for Ackley here. Ackley, base hit to left and a double to left center field. They changed the scoring now to be an E3. See if the Mariners can make them pay for it. Breaking ball for strike 1-1.
Ackley did a nice job. Is it bat in the 6th? Hit that ball to left center, which is kind of what he needs to be. A little bit more of a gap-to-gap guy instead of rolling over a lot of pitches.
1-2.
That's a hard sinker in right there. So difficult for him to try to keep that one up the middle.
Opportunity here for the Mariners. 1-2. 2 out, 2 on. And breaking ball gets him, and that'll do it. Strikeout number 7 for Tom Gorzelani. Mariners strand 2, and she must be from back in Wisconsin. Got a cheesehead here. 6-0 Brewers.
flies to fairly deep left center field. Devo White back to the track, the wall, makes the leap, and the old man has done it.
Run trot, yes.
3-0 pitch is hit deep into left center field, and Bishop will look up, and father and son have hit back-to-back home runs.
That's one of the unique moments in baseball history as you look at the Space Needle. I'm sure at the Sky City restaurant in the Space Needle that they have us on up there. Ken Griffey Jr., big favorite up in that iconic edifice here in Seattle. Nice colors right behind it.
I mean, that's definitely the structure that signifies Seattle. Ken Griffey Jr. is right there.
8th
You
inning.
know what I mean?
Yes, indeed. Right on the spot. 8th inning with Caleb Gindel. He's going to lead it off against your Avis Medina. See, Gindel, Davis, and Francisco 5, 6, and 7 for the Brewers here in the 8th. They had a big 7th inning. 6 runs on 6 hits. They had a 5-run inning last night. That was in the 5th.
Lucas Licky didn't lose the bullpen.
Went off the glove of Quintero, 3-0. Michael Gonzalez heating up. 4-pitch walk. Start the 8th. Seattle Mariners baseball on Root Sports, being brought to you by CenturyLink, your link to what's next, and by Northern Quest Resort and Casino in Spokane, Washington. Visit northernquest.com for more information. Plenty of action out in the pen. They've been here. They opened the gates. They were scheduled to open the gates at 3:40. Thought better of it and said, let's open at 3:20. The pen has been packed. Ken Griffey Jr. night. Strike one to Chris Davis. Here to Davis, who struck out twice. And a fielder's choice RBI back in the 7th.
With that top spinner that Seager tried to make the play at the plate. Gomez coming in on Quintero. And the inning kind of changed its whole course after that.
Doesn't take much, does it? 2-1.
Double single homer and 6 on the board. Nirakuma's dodged the long ball. I mean, he gives up a lot of homers, but he hadn't given up a homer in 4 games, and the 3-run job got him tonight.
2-1 count here to Davis. Take a rip. 2-2. Medina's pitch there, 2-2.
Good hard sinker right there.
Medina turned 25 years old recently on July 27th. He's out of Puerto Cabello in Venezuela.
The task is consistency. And he's got great stuff. Hard moving sinking fastball and a good slider. Right what you need in that 6th, 7th, 8th inning.
Just inside. On deck is Juan Francisco. 3-2, runner goes. Pitch swung on a miss. Throw by Quintero down to second. A little high. Still got him. Nice job by Nick Franklin to apply the tag to get Gindel. So strike him out. Throw him out. Double play.
Basically playing on one leg. A pretty fine release by Quintero, who's been, along with Blanco, excellent in controlling the running game.
Number 1 running team in baseball. And Quintero throws out Gindel. That'll do it for Medina. Robbie Thompson out to go, getting 2 outs here in the 8th. Mariners down by the score of 6-0. Lucas Lipke will take over. Great night here, celebrating Ken Griffey Jr. going into the Mariners Hall of Fame, and Bob Christopherson and his crew putting that number 24 out there. That is the operative number this evening here in Seattle, Washington. Dave Sims, Bill Kruger, Root Sports crew on hand. Lucas Lipke is the new pitcher for Seattle.
Lucas coming off a couple of great performances, 2 shutout innings against Toronto, and then he turned the lights out on Milwaukee last night in the 9th inning, punched out 2 guys. You see the compilation of numbers. It hasn't been as good as last year, Dave, but I mean, I still like the resume. He's shown a better fastball this year, and he still has a really good breaking ball. Again, consistency.
It through the hole in the first pitch as he hung that one. Francisco with his 2nd hit of the evening. And here's Betancourt. Hearing some boos, delivered an RBI single his last time up, 1 for 3.
Betancourt been a thorn in the side of the Mariners so far in this series.
Ball 1 to Udi. There's a strike, 1-1. On a strike to Betancourt. 1-2. Pitch from Litke. Gets away from Quintero. Sauntering down to second is Francisco. A wild pitch.
Quintero's showing some pretty good grit to stay in this ball game.
I'll say.
That looked like an ugly collision. You're thinking the worst.
The knee, looked like he got hit in the upper body, maybe the chest and chin area. He was adamant as soon as he shook it off. I'm not coming out.
It's part of that code, Dave.
That's it.
Catchers all sign up for it.
Full count. Here's the collision we were talking about if you're just joining us.
High throw. He's trying to kind of hold position and make the tag. His knee's exposed. Gomez like a freight train coming in.
He did what he's supposed to do.
Yeah, he was ready to plow him. Ended up getting a pretty good hunk of his knee and can't hang on to the baseball.
3-2 to Betancourt. Struck him out. So that'll do it. Hey everybody, when we come back, how about the Rays? They pulled off the old hidden ball trick against the Dodgers. Angie Mentink will have that when we come back.
Seattle trails Milwaukee right now 6-0. Hi everybody, Angie Mentink here at the Ford Sports Desk. Dave alluded to it before the break. The Rays able to pull off the hidden ball trick against the Dodgers tonight down in Los Angeles. Here is how it happened. A.J. Ellis hits a sacrifice fly with the bases loaded in the fourth inning. Everybody moves up. James Loney ends up with the ball behind the mound. Okay, he flips it to the shortstop, who sneaks it to Evan Longoria. Longoria waits for Juan Uribe to step off the bag, and once he does, he tags him out. The umpire, Angel Hernandez, also paying attention. The Rays pull a fast one, but they do lose the game 5-0. Guys, back to you upstairs. I can't believe it works. I love it.
Good for Angel Hernandez to be paying attention.
Yeah, there's some pretty unique circumstances that have to happen there. You know, the pitcher cannot be on the mound. If you notice, he was wandering around the back of the mound. They had a little something cooking. Got the ball behind Uribe at third base and just got him off the base just a fuzz. But the hidden ball trick.
That's a beauty. And Michael Gonzalez takes over. Tom Gursulani was outstanding tonight against the Mariners. It'll be Quintero, Miller, and Franklin 9-1-2. Walton bat slow roller. Betancourt throws out Quintero. One down as we check out our Columbia Bank difference in the ball game.
Gursulani, terrific tonight. Had everything working. Close to 70% first pitch strikes. Two different types of fastballs in the low 90s. Slider, curveball, change up with some dive on it. I mean, he just had these guys eating out of the palm of his hand. Outstanding performance.
Brad Miller fouls one off, strike one. Brad 0 for 3 tonight. bounced up there, 1-1. One from Gonzalez.
Let me take a look at Gorzelani's performance that we referenced with the highlights. Only 3 hits through 7 innings. Again, left-handers having their way with the Mariners right now. A couple of walks and 7 punch-outs.
Off-speed pitch swung through by Miller. 2-2.
Renicky staying with the left-handed formula. Gonzalez in the game. He's had pretty good resume around the National League as a quality spot left-handed reliever.
Two, swung on and missed. It's been that kind of night. 2 outs. Quickly here in the 8th inning. Are you the ultimate Northwest Mariner fan in the state of Idaho? Then Root Sports is looking for you throughout the month of August. Get a photo on Instagram or Twitter with hashtag #UltimateNWFanIdaho showing why it should be you. We'll get you entered to win a trip and a VIP experience in Mariners Fan Appreciation Night in September here at Safeco Field. For official rules, visit rootsports.com. Back up the middle, slow roller, and that'll be a base hit for Nick Franklin. Just the 4th Mariner hit tonight. Great Kazoo. Was it a helmet that he wears?
And he could go with a different helmet, but he kind of thrives on it. He's just comfortable with that helmet. Here we see the ball at the middle. Jeanette really doesn't have a chance with Franklin, a pretty good runner running.
Been a tough night for Kyle Seager. Twice fouled out the Betancourt at 3rd and bounced into a double play. So he can keep something going with 2 outs against 8-year veteran big leaguer Michael Gonzalez at Robstown, Texas. Two and 0 to Kyle. Gonzalez has pitched for the Pirates, Atlanta, Baltimore, Texas, and Washington. Outside. His chance. First taste of the big leagues in 03 after bouncing around the minor leagues for 6 years. On deck, Kendrys Morales.
Left-handed relievers never die, Dave. They just change teams.
That's correct. I mean, there's a whole bunch of them, but for some reason, the two that always stick in my mind, Tony Fossas and Jesse Orozco.
Fossas, yes.
Pitched forever.
I played with Tony in Milwaukee. Yeah, he had that. He had that drop down slider that worked for a long time. And Orozco was just. He had the fountain of youth working. Long career.
Runner goes, and it's ball 4. A little life here. A couple of men on, 2 outs. Swings for the fences, just like Kendrys Morales and Raul Ibanez with the new Home Run Derby mobile game from MLB.com. Available on iPhone and iPad and select Android devices. Download free today. Breaking ball misses. First time Morales is seeing Gonzalez.
Hit the ball in the nose the last 2 times. Right at second baseman, shortstop. But guys are in scoring position. Kendra Space starts paying a little closer attention.
Kinsler, we saw him last night. Brandon Kinsler pitched a scoreless 9th inning.
Brewer bullpen, one of their bright spots this year. They've been pretty good down there.
Pitching coach Rich Kranitz reminding him what the scoreboard is saying. Texas won at Houston 5-4. Oakland was a loser today. Texas back into first place. Unseen ball goes foul.
Texas making a couple moves. Matt Garza's provided dividends to that rotation. He won last night, and of course Rios, the new acquisition, should help him in the outfield with Nelson Cruz departure. But Rangers on a nice run.
Rios started in right field. Immediate dividends, 2 for 3 with a run scored and an RBI. Chopper, Betancourt throws out Morales, and that will do it. 9th inning coming up. It's been all Milwaukee. 6-0 Brewers. On Root Sports being brought to you by Jack in the Box. Go big at participating Jack in the Box with Jack's really big chicken sandwich combos for only $3.99 plus tax. And by Northern Quest Resort and Casino in Spokane, Washington. Visit northernquest.com for more information. Gorgeous night here in Seattle. Not so pretty on the scoreboard, where the Brewers have dominated tonight on Ken Griffey Jr. Hall of Fame night by the count of 6-0. Lucas Luetge's first pitch to Scooter Gennett. Strike one. This guy hit a 3-run homer on a 2-0 pitch against Iwakuma back in the 7th inning. That was part of a 6-run, 6-hit, 10 men to the plate inning.
Yeah, that big inning's been playing for the Brewers in this series. With the grand slam by Betancourt, and of course Gennett's 3-run home run tonight.
Aoki and Segura 9-1-2 here in the top of the 9th. Looking ahead to the home 9th, it'll be Moore, Saunders, and Smoke 5, 6, and 7 for the Mariners. 3-1. Right below us, full count.
Rob Wooten in the bullpen getting hot. Looks like he'll be the ninth inning guy for the Brewers.
Backed up the middle, a base hit. That has had a night, huh? 2 for 4. 3-run homer and a single. Catch a new episode of Mariners All Access tomorrow at noon. Get exclusive player interviews, behind-the-scenes footage, and Mariners stories you can't find anywhere else. If you missed tomorrow's episode, tune in for re-airs throughout the week on Root Sports. For your local programming schedule, visit rootsports.com. Top of the order in Norichika Aoki. That's a base hit to right. They bring up Gene Segura. Top hitter in the National League. Most hits. He's got a double tonight. Gives him 141.
Great coming out party for this guy. Angel farmhand. Slipped right through their fingers in the Greinke trade, and now getting his real chance with the Brewers and making the most of it. Great season.
Top 6 in the big leagues. His Carter Cap's going to heat up in a hurry. Adrian Beltre went into tonight's action. 147 hits, most in the big leagues. Didn't add to it today, went 0 for 3. Two.
Good change up by Litke right there.
Great year for this kid. 7th in batting. 2nd to Everth Cabrera, who's suspended. And stolen bases with 33.
Got a real chance to win that honor, and of course putting a pretty nice batting average together as well.
Breaking ball. Hit down to Ed Cedar, the third base coach. Spurrier needs another bat.
What we've seen of Segura, I mean, he uses the whole field. He stays on the off-speed stuff pretty good. 0-2 count. This is a spot where we want to try to speed him up a little bit. Litke's, that isn't his MO. He likes to throw breaking balls, but this would be a good spot to try to speed him up, bust him in, and maybe open the gate up for something else.
0-2.
That was the idea. Didn't execute it.
Yeah.
But he did speed. He did show him something hard. I'd be more apt to double up here.
See what they go with. 1-2, 2 on, nobody out. Michael Morse towards the line. Will hang up for him. Makes the catch. Tagging is Scooter Gennett. He gets down to third. So first and third is 1 out. That brings up Jonathan Lucroy, who's been outstanding tonight. 3 for 4 night. All to left field. Another base hit. That'll score Gannett easily. And it's now a 7-0 lead for the Milwaukee Brewers. RBI number 61 for Lucroy, team leader in that category.
You know, I sit there and watch pitching, and Litke's never seen Lucroy, and Lucroy's never seen him. First pitch changeup looks like BP fastball, and he just lines it the other way. I mean, I think you got to do something. Start with changeup. The guy hasn't even seen your fastball yet. These are head scratchers for me sometimes as I watch the game. You know, it's a heck of a lot easier up here.
Agreed. But you make a good point. Lucas is behind 2-0.
You know, you have some struggles, and then whenever it starts to go a little bit sideways on you, Dave, you pitch defensively. You know, throw change-ups, you're trying to nibble. He's got a pretty good arm. He's got a good breaking ball. You know, you got to kind of go, here I am, I think, a little bit more. That would, I think, be the better thought.
Base hit into the gap. Aoki's going to score. Lucroy to third. RBI double for Carlos Gomez. Gomez with his second hit.
Counting Gomez's favor, fastball away, and this is the maturity of Carlos Gomez. He's not going to try to yank this ball out of the ballpark and roll over and hit a ground ball. He's going to go up the middle of the field and hit a double.
Going first to third is Lucroy. There's been a rocky inning here for Lucas Litke. 1 out. Caleb Gindel. Swing and a miss. Another base hit, right field. Lucroy scores. Holding at third is Gomez. Lucas Litke getting tattooed here. And Robbie Thompson's seen enough. Not pretty. Runners at the corners. And Milwaukee has expanded its lead. Sports red alerts. They get exclusive offers and giveaways, Northwest Sports updates, and the latest programming highlights. Just text FAN to 733-733 and get in on all the action. Carter Capps will take over. He is the fourth pitcher tonight. And Bill, you know how baseball goes. This does not look good. You've got Milwaukee 20 games out in the Central. That is the fourth biggest deficit in the game. So they come in here, scored big runs last night. Tonight, Mariners have a travel day Monday, and they're going into the Den. Rays at the Rays, at the Rangers, at the Athletics. Things got to get tightened up quickly.
Yeah, it's a gauntlet in front of them, no question about it. Milwaukee kind of coming in here with nothing to lose and playing with house money. A bunch of young guys trying to make their mark. And it's been behind the woodshed kind of deal both nights. Kind of maybe got too wrapped up in Griffey, and the ball game kind of became an afterthought.
Chris Davis will be the seventh man to the plate here in the ninth inning. They sent 10 to the plate in the seventh, scoring 6 times on 6 hits. They tried to get them all.
Carter's throwing the ball good since he's come back up from AAA. You know, showed us the changeup when he arrived against Toronto last night through 2 innings of shutout baseball. Threw the ball well.
Bouncing ball, that is foul. Center field for Saunders. Hit pretty well, but he's there to make the catch. Tagging at third is Gomez. He scores easily. Sacrifice fly off the bat of Chris Davis. Picks up his second RBI tonight. Gives him 8 for the season. Double digits for Milwaukee. Two down here in the ninth. Brings up Juan Francisco.
He's double open the floodgates there in the seventh inning.
8th man to the plate. The Milwaukee Brewers 10-5 winners last night. A 10-0 lead here in the ninth this evening. This is a Brewers club that's 8th in batting in the National League, 8th in runs, 7th in hits, 4th in homers, 13th in doubles. It has been a bad couple of nights. Brewers 5th in slugging and 12th in on-base percentage. 0-2 here to Francisco. It's a top spin. Nick Franklin, and that's dropped. That'll be a base hit. They'll bring the 9th man to the plate.
Francisco just a seeing my ball up the middle. Franklin makes the play on the backhand. Really has no play at first base and tries to see if he can get the play at second. Just can't quite make it happen. And a chance.
Here's Betancourt, 9th man to the plate. Two out runners at first and second. Off the fist. Takes a bad hop. Miller hangs with him. And that'll do it. 9 men to the plate. 4 runs on 6 hits. 10-0 Milwaukee.
Field. Angie Mittentink with you at the Ford Sports Desk. A big night for the Mariners, also a huge night for the Sounders franchise as well. We go to Toronto, and it begins with a goal in the 16th minute from Mauro Rosales, following an assist by Eddie Johnson. And then in the 34th minute, it's the moment that all soccer fans wanted to see. Clint Dempsey subs into the game, finishes with 4 shots. Look at this one on goal, but no goals. Still, the Sounders win 2-1. All right, just a reminder, everybody, that coming up here on the postgame show, we are going to continue to look back at Griffey's career, some of our fantastic moments, listen to some of the stories, and we will also hear some of the parts from Griffey's speech, just in case you missed it or you want to hear parts of it again. And, you know, you guys had Griffey on upstairs and you were asking him all these questions. I want to ask you, at what point did you guys get a little misty-eyed and lose it? I mean, I'm not going to, like 3 or 4 times for me.
Well,
totally
as we mentioned up here, is that Bill and I, as dads, totally related. When, much to Junior's surprise, they had the video message which from Trey, which they didn't have yesterday. And as soon as he saw that, game was over.
Yeah, when your kids speak so heartfelt about you, it's a crusher, an emotional crusher.
Check, please. Good night, everybody.
That's absolutely true.
Tyler Thornburg's going to get a chance to throw here tonight.
And you see the numbers, pretty impressive for this guy. The bullpen for the Brewers has been one of their bright spots. A lot of young guys getting chances.
Michael Morris is his first hitter. Ground ball to second. That throws him out. Scooter's been tremendous. 3 runs, 3-run homer, a couple of hits tonight. Coming up tomorrow, CenturyLink to what's next. Willie Peralta goes against the King, Felix Hernandez. Felix going to have to try to salvage a game in this series for the Mariners.
Shift the momentum in this series and stop the bleeding. That's why they call them stoppers.
You know it. And it's been a flogging these last 2 nights. 10 runs last night, 10 more tonight by Milwaukee.
And without a doubt, he can do it.
Center field. And that's wrapped up easily. Who's center fielder? Logan Schaefer. Quick 2 outs. Two outs. Here's Justin Smoke.
That 9-game streak kind of floating in the breeze right here for Justin.
Thornburg, 24 years old. He's out of Houston, Texas, lives in North Charleston, South Carolina. Smoke from Goose Creek, South Carolina. suburb of Charleston. 1-1. Ball and 2 strikes.
He's got that real high arm slot and comes back from that slot with a nasty forkball or a split finger. You can see his calling card. Get ahead with the fastball and try to rub you out with the split.
A 1-2 from Thornburg. Swing and a miss. That'll do it. Best part of the night. We got a chance to see Ken Griffey Jr. and spend time with him. The rest of the evening, not so good. 6 runs in the 7th, 4 in the 9th, 10-0 final. Brewers to take the series.
Really not anything to point at tonight, as you mentioned. A tremendous night for Ken Griffey Jr., the celebration, but boy, on the field, not so good. Garzalani was outstanding through 7 innings. Their bullpen cleans it up. And that Brewer offense, without those guys in the middle, has found a way to score some runs, and they've had their way with the Mariners.
It has been a bonanza these last 2 games. 20 runs for Milwaukee. Post-game show, Mariners post-game, begins right now. Brett Adam, Dave Valley.
Gentlemen.